Brothers and sisters, friends and family, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you so much for your precious time as we go through the amazing words of our Messiah. And a lot of people know our Messiah as Jesus. But before we begin, that letter was only invented in the 1500s. And there's no letter J in the Hebrew alphabet. There's no J sound. So if we want the proper sound, the proper name of our Messiah, well, one thing is it's not going to be in English. It's going to be in Paleo Hebrew, which is what you see right here. This is the name of our Messiah. And his name is Yahushua. And different variations of Yahushua are Yeshua, Yahusha. There's a lot of different variations of this name and how people say it. And I think if our Messiah was walking down the street and you said Yahushua or Yeshua, I think he would absolutely turn around. He would probably turn around if you said Jesus as well. And the bottom line is our Messiah, whatever you want to call him, his name. And it is important. You know, the name is very, very important, which is why we stick with Yah Scriptures. And Yah Scriptures, what you're seeing right here is the greatest English translation that you will ever find. And it's 100% free. Guys, there's versions of this that we're going to be reading out of, it's for the Google, anything that is Google. So if you have an Android phone, Android tablet, Android TV, it will work for everything. And it is an incredible, amazing app. It doesn't require any kind of internet at all. It is available right now. It has all of the 103 books, the same version that we use in this hard copy. Now, this hard copy is available. You can get this for $90. It is probably the cheapest of any translation. The competitors who basically are the reason that we are here, they rip the people of our Creator off for about $450 for a book a little bit smaller that does not have the complete books and is not the large font that this is. This is a large font, big print study Bible that has 3 different bookmarks. This is an absolute sword when it comes to understanding our regular scriptures along with all of the Apocrypha, which actually the word means hidden. And so if you guys are looking for an amazing read, guys, part of our understanding of the scriptures is that our Creator wants us to not only know his ways, and he wants us to embrace our lives in them. And we have been under literally a religious spell for decades, centuries, that tell us that there's no value to the first half of the book, that the only part of the book that really matters is some of the New Testament and then all of Paul's, right? We'll take the letters of a man of Paul's and people will say, well, he's ordained by the creator of the universe, and he may be. But when it comes down to a principle that they've labeled biblical hermeneutics, the beginning of the book says, I would like you to keep this set of laws, statutes, and commandments for all generations, for all times, for all peoples, for all creeds, for all nations. This is what I want you to keep. There's never been an expiration date to it. You can't find anything outside of what Paul says that would ever, ever, ever lead you to believe that the greatest things that have ever been given to mankind, which is the laws of our Creator, they're not null and void, right? These are what we need to take and put on a pedestal, and we need to have them for our life. Our entire life, with every decision that we make, from every single bite that we eat, to the ways that we conduct ourselves, to the ways that we take care of people, to the ways that we defend ourselves. All of this is contained in these scriptures. And when we've been lied to by the powers that be in the religious system with 41,000 religious Christian denominations alone, that all of them are contrary to what it says in scriptures. So as a people who are seeking a second kingdom, who are seeking a way of righteousness, the way is in the first 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And then by default, you will have an entire religious system that says, Jason, you can't keep those laws, statutes, and commandments because are you just going to go slaughter animals? And my friends, the answers to these questions are answered by simply reading the book in of itself. When we read through scriptures and when we understand the Levitical priesthood system where they're slaughtering animals for the atonement of sins for a people who were walking with our Creator in a physical form, and those were his demands. He didn't want to walk with a people who were defiled, who live in sin, who are okay with it. And so he had set up a system of atonement that these people were able to be around him and he would stick around. Now, we have a Messiah, and Messiah became that system. He became the priest. He became the sacrifice. He became the entire system and the need that these priests were for us as a people. This is why our Creator will bring the Ruach HaKodesh. This is why Pentecost came around, is that the power of our Creator went through men, and instead of him talking to us through the Ark of the Covenant between the two cherubim, we have a direct line. We have a way forward, and we have a Messiah who didn't only become our curse-breaking sacrifice of the spiritual death of the Torah, but he became our leader. He became a very qualified leader for the kingdom to come. Somebody who we can depend upon when he says, guys, you've been keeping these days wrong. Congratulations to all of you guys for attempting to keep whatever calendar of our Creator that you've been doing and doing it with your heart. But this is the way that it was ever intended. And he will align us. He will be our shepherd. That's what we're missing. Excuse me. We're seeking our shepherd. And so it is within these scriptures and is within this entire system that we can understand how our Messiah is. And this book is probably one of my favorites in all of scriptures. But at the same time, every book is my favorite in all of scriptures. And if our commandment is to know these scriptures and to write them on our heart, mind, and soul, and to rise to them and go to sleep with them and to indoctrinate our children with them, because when you understand there is a tremendous amount of value in them. And I will tell you, I had dads. I never had a dad. My first dad was gone before I was, I guess, even a couple months old. Second dad is like 3 or 4 when my mom divorced him. Third dad, she stayed with him, but I never really got along with him. And I had what my mother gave the best understanding of the rules of man to me. And she only gave me a couple of the 10 commandments because we didn't worship on the Sabbath day. And then she gave me that the laws were on the cross. I don't have to keep them. And so I'm not accountable to the Creator of the universe, who is going to judge me by these exact same rules. And so I didn't have the weapons and the defense system and the armor and the shields that I needed to go into this world. And I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't as well. And so it is by only the grace of our Creator that he allowed our eyes to be open, that we somehow came to the understanding that, look, we need not only to read these scriptures, but we need to apply them to our lives. And people will say, well, the laws are hard. They're bondage. They're things that we just can't keep. And I will always defend that by saying, not only are they extremely easy to keep once you start keeping them, but they become something of your life and in your life, and there's blessings that come from this. There's not only life blessings and spiritual defense that you end up getting, but you become a true child of the Most High. Now, our Creator is going to send his Son back, and he's going to bust a huge city out on top of a mountain range, and that city is going to be the New Jerusalem. It's going to be the place where our Messiah reigns for 1,000 years. And this is where we're going to be hopefully called over, right? But Revelation 14:12 very clearly says the only people who are saved have 2 qualifications. They keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and they have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. right? We have to understand that the Son, the real Son of the Most High, came and was built into the human form just like we are, so that he knew exactly the pain that we felt, so that he would know the same temptation that we feel. And he was probably even tempted even far more than we ever were. And he did it. And he walked that Torah perfectly. And he says, if you love me, keep my commandments. Well, he has very clearly said his commandments come from his Father. He gives us newer pieces of the additions of the Torah, but it never changes the original Torah. We learn things, much more things. And this is where in this book of the Netzarim, the book of Khalidi, this is where we're learning a lot of things. And for anybody who hasn't checked out the last segments, guys, check them out. See what you guys think. There's some incredible words that come out of this book because it's the words of our Messiah. Now, the very first thing that we're catching in verse 45 and it's just amazing, right? Right before this, we were talking about prayer, a little bit about prayer. And Messiah says, don't be repetitious, right? Don't ramble on, right? And I made the point that our Creator is so intelligent and so brilliant beyond anything that we can even understand, that even for us, as if somebody sat across from us and said the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's going to get tiresome, right? It's going to get boring. It's going to get like, let's get to the point. What is the point, right? Our Creator doesn't need you to hound him and go over and over and over. We, by default, by being Torah keepers, by having the faith of Messiah Yahushua, have the ear of our Creator, right? Sometimes what we pray is not in his will. Sometimes what we pray would harm us in the future, and we have no idea what the future holds. But we do know that our Creator holds us in the palm of his hand. And when he holds us in the palm of his hand, we have to understand that's Dad. That's Pops. That's Father, right? This is the greatest Father that we could ever possibly have, who has given us a moral code, who has given us a way forward, who is giving us another chance after he already gave us a gift of life and the gift of vision and hearing and smell and feel and touch and love. All of these things, what a gift, right? What an experience on these flat lands that we live in, that we have a chance to find love. Some of us, right? Sometimes in just the love of a cat, the love of a dog, right? Just these precious things in life that our Creator has built, these incredible designs and animals in such a perfect fashion that we can coexist. And it's a beautiful thing. So continuing on, Messiah talks about what prayer needs to be, what it needs to sound like. So again, this says this is the pattern for prayer, right? This isn't the prayer of all prayers, right? This isn't what we memorize, and this isn't what we say over and over and over, because our Creator wouldn't want to hear it like this. But this is the pattern. This is the template. This is how, if you don't know how to pray, this is the beginning, right? This is how we say it. Our Father in the Ruach, right? In spirit. Our Father in spirit. May your nature become known among men and your rule established on earth, according to the plan of the Shamayim. Okay, guys, this is one of these rapture things, right? That the people believe that the magical rapture school bus that has bus driver Jesus, it takes everybody who's living in sin and it takes them out of any kind of tribulation whatsoever, when clearly throughout the book of Revelations, we're here to the very end. But Messiah says it even more clear, right? It says the prayer is, our Father in spirit, may your nature become known among men and your rule established on earth, according to the plan of the Shamayim, right? And as you read through scriptures, the establishment of the earth is the New Jerusalem. That is when some incredible supernatural crazy stuff happens. The earth probably shakes, the sky probably pops and hisses and whizzes. All of us are probably on the ground thinking this is about it, as a ginormous, crazy kingdom of crazy city drops down onto a mountaintop. That's what scriptures say. That's what I believe. That's what sounds like logical for a 1,000-year reign, for a great battle. We're gearing up, right? I mean, you guys can all see evil around us, the evil that is in everything. It's just so crazy. Now, continuing on, it's talking about the create. And one more thing on this. How is the rule established on earth, right? The rule, the rule of our Creator is established on earth when there's a bunch of us that are law keepers that will do anything, life or death, to keep these laws of our Creator. Once the loyal soldiers and the people have been established and proven and are ready to rock and roll, that's when the kingdom's coming. So it's up to man. It is up to all of us to bring this kingdom forward. We're not going to be doing it by sitting on our couches and not being fruitful, right? The kingdom needs to be brought forth by us speaking of it, by us letting people know how exciting it is, because it's the greatest thing ever, right? There's nothing more exciting than the rule of our Creator in a righteous system, that we don't have these thugs and this lawlessness and this madness that we have worldwide. When we have a people that really truly love scriptures and love Torah, and it's not just a once saved, always saved, and a lawless life, that's when the kingdom's going to be coming. Continuing on, Messiah says this in this prayer, right, to his dad, or to our template, right? May your design be completed. What is the design? Well, the design is the kingdom to come, right? The design is that the Torah is embraced in every man who is willing to bend their knee to our higher power, to our designer, to our Creator. This is what it is. When the loyal set of people are worshiping, praying, seeking, keeping the Torah of our Creator, that's when this kingdom is going to come. And so a lot of us need to do a lot of work, especially those of us who are around a lot of people. We can witness in a lot of different ways, sometimes without ever saying a word. Sometimes it's getting a couple bags of cheeseburgers and going down a block and giving everybody a cheeseburger that's sitting in a tent, right? Something like that. And all of a sudden, when you start feeding people on that level, these people are going to be very, very responsive. Continuing on, Messiah says, give us the substance we need and overlook our transgression as we overlook the transgressions of others. Okay. I would add on, I would throw in a please give us the substance we need, and overlook our transgressions, because our Creator doesn't owe us anything. He doesn't, he's given us everything, right? He gave us two hands. We're capable people. He doesn't need to be giving us blessings and taking care of us like he always does, but he always does, right? And so even those who are evil, who don't like the laws of our Creator, are able to be successful because our Creator built amazing stuff. He just doesn't build junk, and everything he builds is incredible. So the prayer is to please help us with our food, right? Help us to make sure that we can maintain for this day and that we can feed our families and take care of our pets, and please overlook our transgressions, right? This is a huge thing, right? This is the repentance. Every day that we live and breathe, we would do things that would break the Torah by an evil thought, but just by things in our own minds is how we can break the Torah, and things we will have to account for. And then sometimes we do even worse, and then we bring the evil out into fruition by typing it up or by speaking it, and then all of a sudden it's even worse, right? So we have a lot of transgressions, all of us. We're humans, and we need to just dial it in and get better and try to make this kingdom. Okay, do not test us too severely and strengthen us against the servants of evil. We know that from the words of Messiah that these lands that we walk on are simply a testing ground. And our Messiah says this earth is a great place to do it. Are we qualified? Will we make the soldiers of the kingdom? Are we soldiers of Yah? Will we be anywhere near our Messiah? Will we even have the privilege to look upon him and speak to him and talk to him? Will we get to hang out with Moshe, right? We will be tested, and to make eternity forever, why wouldn't we be tested? Why wouldn't the designer of the universe, why would he just give everything carte blanche free, right? Why would he just let everybody who isn't going to be loyal in the kingdom to come, just come on in, right? Come on in, everybody, right? It's the parable of the people that, were going to the wedding dinner and nobody showed up, and then they went and got all the people of the street and just the workers. And one dude came in and he had all bad clothes and just filthy and just didn't care that he had made it. And the creator says, Messiah says, tell him to drag him out and put him into bondage. This is important that we pass our tests, and these tests are a daily test. These things are things that we know from scriptures that our creator will not test us beyond what our range is. But we must know that we will be tested. And again, I've talked about this, but Revelation is very, very clear when it talks about how badly Satan hates us. And if in the Apocrypha, you guys ever read the books of Adam and Eve, the translation in Yah Scriptures, it is a very open-eyed view into how badly Satan hates us and how much he wants us dead, how much he'll do absolutely everything to take a soul, and how vile of a creature he and his horde of demons are. And they are against mankind because mankind has a different place in the world and in humanity in the kingdom to come. And the devil is just he's a rebel. He doesn't care about what our Father has to say, and he's the bad dude. He's really, really the bad dude, along with 33% of all these demons. Continue on, and this is going on the prayer. If you overlook this is not. He's talking again. If you overlook the failings of others and forgive people for the wrongs they have done to you, then the burden of your own will be alleviated. Big stuff, right? It talks about forgiveness so much in scriptures. Messiah talks about how much do we need to forgive our brother. And it's 70 times 7 and literally beyond, right? 70 times 7 was just the number. A lot of sevens in there, right? But it's if 490 times were violated and sorry was said 490 times, then we need to go 70 times 71, right? It's not a just that number thing, right? It's an infinite number. We need to forgive. As we ask for forgiveness, which we do not deserve, we should be giving forgiveness to others who are human, who do stupid things, right? Humans do vile things. They do emotionless things. They do things that break our hearts. They do just bad things, right? Everybody has one of those bad somebodies in their lives that is toxic, and we need to figure out how to forgive them, right? The problem is, and it took me decades to figure this out because I carried a lot of anger around for years and years and years, and it was only until the last 5 or 6 years that I was able to start to deal with my own issues that I have with it. And one thing that I realized is not only does anger really affect your health negatively, it will make your heart beat differently. It will make your nerves beat differently. Your nights are different. Things are of this nature when you sit there and dwell on things and you concrete them in as an offense that has been done to you and an unforgivable offense, then our bodies are actually affected. And when the thing is, we're mad at somebody else, right? Most of the time, these other people have no idea how angry you are. So it's only you that is carrying on this harboring of this darkness. And you know what? At the end of the day, we got to forgive. That's part of the kingdom road. People have done us wrong. People have been molested, right? There have been horrible, horrible things that have happened to people. We don't have to be okay with it, and we don't have to be around them. But if we are holding the evil and the anger within us, it's only hurting ourselves even further, right? Judgment will come. Our Creator will avenge absolutely everything. And some of these people of the offended may very well end up in eternity with this evil being understood to them over and over and over, right? This is all part of our accounting and our day of accounting, and when we have to go to the day of accounting. So continuing on, also, it's the middle of 46. When you fast or undertake an obligation, do not be like the hypocrites who lengthen their faces, going about it self-righteously, bringing themselves to the attention of others. We've heard this before, right? Messiah talks about this. There was a problem where the Sadducees and Pharisees, everything these guys did, these so-called religious leaders of the day, which again, it's like every other religion. It's a whole boatload of man-made religions. And perhaps Judaism might be one of the biggest offenders of adding to the Torah, because Deuteronomy 4:2 says, do not add to or take away from the Torah. And inside of Judaism, you have 200-ish books and writings and things that are not from it that are called the Oral Torah. And so that is the difference. And people don't really understand the difference. People, you will see you wearing tzitzits, and we have blue tasseled tzitzits. And for those who do not know, those are just the tassels. That in Numbers 15:38, we have a commandment that we're supposed to be wearing tzitzits. And so it's just a piece of blue thread that's on four corners of your garment. I don't know where I was even going with this, but that's what they would do is the Jewish folks and the Sadducees and Pharisees, they don't even keep the commandment with blue tzitzits. They wear white because in their oral Torah they don't believe that they have the color blue anymore, and somehow it's like and fenced to wear blue, and so they wear white. And so that is the difference between Torah keepers and those who are outside of scriptures. And what these guys were doing is they were fasting, and so they were looking about like all this self-righteously. So all these people look on these guys and they're like, oh man, these priests, they're just so holy. These guys are the holiest guys around. And it's just an act, right? You know, you're like, you pretend, you know, you're not even that hungry. So, and I'm sure you're hungry, but I'm sure that they were just, you know, making an act of it. Okay, continuing on, Messiah gives us some incredible information here. Hoard no earthly treasures, which can be destroyed by moths and decay, or maybe stolen by thieves, right? It is far better to establish a storehouse in the Shamayim, for there you can accumulate treasures beyond reach of these things. Word. I totally believe this is true without a shadow of a doubt. Guys, I've been through the hoarding of earthly treasures before, and it's actually, this is what happens. Moths and decay. There was so much. When I moved out of North America, I loaded up a container of just what I thought was like super, super precious in my eyes. And I would say probably at least half of it is completely gone by now. Like things don't live in a tropical rainforest like they would in normal places. And so it's a wet world down here. And so, this is one of these things like, yep, I can just sit here and shake my head, and that is it. Everything will be destroyed. So how is it that we establish the storehouse? You know, what is it that we're doing? Well, beyond that. So guys, it's about planting seeds. It's about establishing this kingdom on earth by us doing our jobs as our farmers and taking it to the streets, taking it to the people, taking it to the social media, wherever it's to be found, right? Wherever it is possible that we can possibly fish for men, that's where we need to be. And so when we put our boots to the ground and start doing the work of the kingdom, then we are not only doing what we should be doing, because this is great news, right? The Torah is great news. There's hope. There's a way forward, right? As a Christian, I didn't know any of this stuff. I just didn't know this. I spent 30 plus years in Christianity, and I thought I could just surf pornography and ask Jesus to forgive me, and that's what it was, because that's the basis of Christianity, right? You can't lose this salvation when it comes to Christianity. I wasn't taught about things about pornography becoming adulterers and adulterizing the people in these pictures, right? There's an entire set of sins that we have to account for all of these things, and we need to tell others about them, right? We need to shut down those who are looking into adultery, shut down part of the Torah commands. One of the Torah commands is that we need to address our neighbors in their sin, right? If we see, homeboy Bob sitting out back, just rolling a pig over and over and over, we say, hey, just so you know, stuff will kill you. And you'll go, oh yeah, it's okay. Everybody eats pig. And you're like, well, it's one of those things. And explain to them, they're the janitors, they're the land animals. They are the things that process food way different than any other animal does. And they are okay living with up to hundreds of different kinds of parasites living inside of these pigs, that the pig doesn't care. He doesn't get sick. He doesn't get rashes. He doesn't even give a rip. He and the worms and the bacteria are totally good together. So then you go and kill this thing, that is possibly eating a corpse of its young or all sorts of crazy meat, stuff you don't eat. Then you fry it up and you don't fry it up good enough, right? And then one of these worms, as you're like rolling it down, it becomes this like trachea style worm that like starts living in your chest, then goes in your stomach, goes in your intestines. Pretty soon you have 40 pounds of worms. You don't even know what's going on. And we could have avoided all of this because we have an entire chapter that is an amazing gold structured foundation chapter that is the Leviticus 11 that tells us what to eat and what not to. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. It says things like roadkill and vulture. Don't eat those, right? Don't eat the hawks. Don't eat the dirty birds. Don't eat the owls. Don't eat any of this stuff, right? You got the cows. You got some chickens, right? Those are cling food for you. Those won't make you sick, right? But, you know, we have live in a sick religious system that says all food has been made cling at the detriment of our health and definitely at the detriment of our soul. Now, continuing on, Messiah says a man's heart is never far from the place where he establishes his credit. Huge, huge words. And I've already done 30 minutes on this, guys. This is crazy. All right. I just start yakking it up with you guys and here we are. So for those who actually make it to the end of this, huge double love to you guys. No doubt. Okay. A man's heart is never far from the place where he establishes his credit. Guys, this is huge. If we don't take anything away from this, this is our Messiah saying that whatever our focus is on in this life is where we're establishing our credit. Now, if we are into, let's say, NFL football and we are sitting there watching all these games and just basically ruining our lives, we're not accumulating any treasures in the kingdom. Now, I'm not saying you're going to hell for watching football, but where we lay our focus is where we establish our credit, right? If you know all the stats of all these football things, but you don't know the 150 laws that we have, and you don't know them in your heart, mind, and soul, but you can tell us all these stats and all the stuff. Same for the video games, right? If you guys are only playing video games, if this is your only focus, and you guys don't even know the 150 commands that our Creator has given to us that we need to be living by, that we will be judged by, that we are going to be basically denied kingdom access or allowed kingdom access by doing, right? We don't get religion that tells us any of this stuff, but Scriptures absolutely tells us this. And so I would like to encourage all of you guys out there, number one, to pray. Number two, to read your Scriptures. Number three, apply them to your lives. And guys, seek the kingdom where it's available to be found. None of us know when we're going to breathe our last breath. None of us know the last moment that we will have a day. None of us know this. And so we need to get our lives right now. This is the opportunity, right? Torah keeping is a path forward. That's what the Torah means. There's no such word as law, right? The law is some Christian thing that they made. How can we make this sound terrible? We'll call it the law, right? It's not the law. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it will change your life, enhance you, enhance your family, and make things all blessed in the way you guys walk. Much love to everybody out there. Have a good day. I'm out.